This is how most days start. Being woken up by the sound of my daughter. I've actually stopped setting an alarm because I trust that she will get me up at the exact right time. Our mornings are pretty slow, and I definitely try to take advantage of that. After getting her changed and all ready for mom, I head downstairs to get started with the morning coffee. Most often than not, my preferred method of choice is to make espresso. It's just therapeutic for me, and having worked as a barista before, I have a system that I follow that makes me really confident dialing in new bags for espresso. I just got in some perfect coffee water from my machine and new coffee from Makeworth Coffee Roasters. Recently, I've been posting a lot of espresso content on Instagram, and something that I've realized is that the majority of people have a difficult time dialing in espresso at home and getting consistent shots every time without wasting too much coffee. So I'm gonna show you my process and how I'm able to usually get a usable shot within the second or third pull. There are three variables that I look at: dose, yield, and time. And my grinder is what gives me the flexibility to manipulate them. The dose should be determined by the size of your basket. On my 58mm machine, I have a 22 gram basket, so I use a 20 gram dose. Another important step for me is puck prep. Now, to be fair, I didn't have all these fancy tools until about a month ago, but I have noticed a difference in how the espresso tastes and consistency across all my pulls. So now that you've chosen your dose, lock that in and don't change it. Your yield is going to be determined by the characteristics of the coffee itself. So as a rule of thumb, So as a rule of thumb, the darker the coffee, the smaller the yield. The lighter the coffee, the higher the yield. So this is, if you can see it there, this is on the lighter side. So I'm gonna look for like a 1 to 2.5 range, which for 20 grams of coffee would probably get me somewhere close to like 50 out. The final variable to look at is time. If you don't have a bottomless portafilter, it gets a little bit more difficult to understand what's going on inside the basket. But the best thing to remember is that if your espresso shot is taking way too long and pulling really, really slow, you're gonna wanna coarsen your grind up. And if it's the opposite and running way too fast, you're gonna wanna make your grind size a little bit finer. When you think of grind size, imagine the difference between water passing through sand and water passing through rocks. Water will obviously have an easier time passing through rocks than it will sand, so try and approach grind size and time from that point of view. So the last rule of espresso, and honestly probably the most important rule, is to trust your taste buds, because no matter what the standard is or what you decide is the ratio that you're going for, there's nothing that's a truer judge of how good the espresso is than how it tastes. So it tastes good. Honestly, that's a usable shot for me. I'm gonna drink it in an Americano, but it tastes a little bit thin to me. So I'm gonna go a little bit finer. And by going finer, I'm not gonna adjust the yield. I'm only looking at time. Those are kind of the principles that I use for dialing in espresso. So make sure to lock variables in. And then as you lock things in, adjust one thing at a time and see how that changes the taste of your espresso. That's gonna be the most fun and hopefully the most consistent way so that you don't end up losing coffee. Wakey, wakey, I was bringing you coffee.
Thank you.
That was literally perfect timing.
I slept in so late.
I wasn't expecting you. Hey baby, what do you think? Did you sleep good? Yeah. Oh, I love you, girl. I love you. And now it's time to head to the office because we have a lot of work to do today. Drive away shot. So we have a lot to do today. We have to film, edit, and post a giveaway that's going live tonight at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I know I waited too long. I waited to the last minute, but in my defense, I did at least script, and I have an idea of what it's gonna look like. I just need to shoot it. But to be honest with you, my least favorite part of content creation is, now it's crazy dark. But my least favorite part of the whole content creation process is editing. I am overly analytical. I'm a perfectionist. And so naturally, whenever I'm editing something, and I'm the kind of person who has the vision in my head for what I want it to look like, it's super easy for me to get lost in the sauce. And I'm editing the most simple reel it's a 25-second reel. And it literally takes me 2.5 hours to edit. Why? I'm a perfectionist. I don't know. I hate it. I hate it about myself. But also, I mean, it's what's made me a better editor. So I'm happy about it. But yeah, that's why the editing process is my least favorite part of the whole content creation process. So let's go to the office and get that done. Usually on my way into the office, I like listening to podcasts to get my mindset. Right now I'm listening to Creator Science by Jay Klaus, and it's fantastic. Okay, so we are here at the office. I have to film this and get it done. And on top of that, I have to be back home in a few hours because my wife is going out tonight and I get to be home with the baby, which I'm super excited about. And this job affords me the opportunity to get to do that. That just means that I really have a lot to get done. So I'm gonna film some BTS on my iPhone. But yeah, wish me luck because I have no idea how this is gonna turn out. Let's do this. The first thing I do when I think of a new piece of content is write the script and think of the shots that I want for each line of the script. So thankfully for this one, I already had a pretty good idea for the direction that I wanted to go. The most time-consuming part is actually setting up each shot, and then once I see it through the lens of the camera, hoping that it turns out the way I saw it in my head. Okay, so I just finished recording this whole thing. It's like 2:30, a lot later than I anticipated. So I need to run like the wind when it comes to editing. I can't be specific or particular. I have to get it done so that I can get home. So wish me luck and let's get to editing. Now, I am by no means a professional editor, and I'm sure there's a ton of ways to do this, but usually what I do is cull through my footage first, and then I lay everything out according to how I had it scripted. Then I'll align my clips with the music, do any final touches to the color grade, and finally my text and captions. Okay, so it's 4:48. We're coming up on the final part of this edit. For me, the last part is always transcribing, creating captions for short form, which is the worst part. That could easily take an hour. Obviously, me being a perfectionist, there's still a lot of things that I want to be able to tweak and change and wish I could have done. But I need to be home by 5:30. So that doesn't give me a lot of time to work and possibly even stop by the grocery store. So we need to do as much as possible in the next like 10 minutes. I think in terms of giveaway reels, it's probably my most creative one. Okay, I'm wasting a lot of time. Let's get this done. Guys, I don't know how, but somehow, some way we did it. I had like all these artsy shots in my mind that I was gonna get on my way out of the office. And yeah, that's not happening because I gotta get out of here. Oh my gosh, it's still daylight outside. I don't have any windows in my office, so I was not expecting that. Oh, that's a fun surprise. To be honest with you, I really had no idea how I wanted this vlog to end, and being a chronic perfectionist, of course, I thought it had to have the perfect ending. Made it to the grocery store. But honestly, yes. I just feel really thankful, and if anything, I hope this video challenges you to look at your life and to see the beautiful parts of it, no matter how mundane and repetitive it may seem. Thank you so much for watching my first vlog. Okay, love you, bye.